There are certain UFC fighters who didn't perform well in 2017, where they have suffered more than one loss. So here is 10 fighters who had a rough year. Number 10. Michelle Waterson came into 2017 with victories over Angela Magana and Paige Van Zandt, where after another victory, she would have likely gotten the next title shot. In early 2017, she faced Rose Namajunas in a title eliminator bout at UFC on Fox 24. In the fight, she was submitted by a rear naked choke in the second round. She made her return against Tisha Torres at UFC 218, where she got out-muscled, losing the fight by a unanimous decision. With 2 losses in a row, Michelle Waterson has moved herself far away from title contention, where hopefully she could come back better than ever in 2018. Number 9. Rashad Evans came into 2017 with a knockout loss to Glover Teixeira at UFC on Fox 19. He decided to start fresh and made the drop down to the middleweight division and faced Dan Kelly at UFC 209. After a very close fight, the split decision was given to Dan Kelly. He was next scheduled to face Sam Alvey at UFC Final 114, where after another very close fight, the split decision was given to Sam Alvey. With 2 losses in a row, Rashad Evans doesn't seem like the same dominant fighter he used to be. He has mentioned that he will be moving back up to the light heavyweight division, where hopefully he could pick up a win in 2018. Number 8. BJ Penn made his return in 2017 after a 3-year layoff, where he was determined to win the UFC featherweight title. He was scheduled to face rising featherweight contender Yair Rodriguez at UFC Final 103, where he was brutally beat down, losing the fight by TKO in the second round. He next faced Dennis Siver at UFC Final 112, where after the 3 rounds, the majority decision was given to Dennis Siver. With 2 losses in 2017, I believe it's time for BJ Penn to retire, as he has nothing left to prove. Hopefully, he retires in 2018. Number 7. Will Brooks came into the UFC in 2016 as the former Bellator lightweight champion who was expected to do big things in the promotion. He made his debut, defeating Ross Pearson by a unanimous decision at the Ultimate Fighter 23 finale. He would next lose to Alex Oliveira by TKO at UFC Final 96. In 2017, he would lose to Charles Oliveira by a standing rear naked choke at UFC 210 and would lose to Nick Lentz by a guillotine choke at UFC Final 121. With 3 losses in a row, things are not looking good for Will Brooks, where another loss will certainly have him released from the UFC. Number 6. Jim Miller came into 2017 with 3 victories over Takanori Gomi, Joe Lozon and Thiago Alves, where he started to surge up the UFC lightweight rankings. In 2017, he was booked to face Dustin Poirier at UFC 208, where he would lose the fight by a majority decision. He would next face Anthony Pettis at UFC 213, where he would lose the fight by a unanimous decision. He next faced Francisco Trinaldo at UFC Final 119, where he would lose the fight by a unanimous decision. Jim Miller is on a 3-fight losing streak and needs to turn things around in 2018 to remain in the promotion. Number 5. Nate Marquardt has severely declined in recent years, as he doesn't seem like the same aggressive fighter he once was. He came into 2017 with a knockout victory over Tamdan McCrory at UFC Final 96, where it seemed like Nate Marquardt would have a great 2017, but that wasn't the case. At the beginning of the year, he faced Sam Alvey at UFC on Fox 23, where he would lose the fight by a unanimous decision. He would next face Vitor Belfort at UFC 212, where he would lose by a unanimous decision, and lastly fought Cesar Ferreira at UFC Final 120, where after a very close fight, the split decision was given to Cesar Ferreira. Nate Marquardt is on a 3-fight losing streak and is currently on the brink of being cut from the UFC. Hopefully he can come back better in 2018. Number 4. Anthony Hamilton is basically the gatekeeper of the heavyweight division, where if fighters are able to defeat him, they are elevated into tougher competition. In the beginning of the year, he was knocked out by Marcel Fortuna at UFC Final 104. He was next finished by Daniel Spitz by TKO at UFC Final 116, and lastly lost a unanimous decision to Adam Wojcik at UFC Final 121. Anthony Hamilton is currently on a 4-fight losing streak, where it is highly unlikely they will remain with the UFC much longer. Number 3. Donald Cerrone came into 2017 with 4 very impressive finishes over top contenders in the welterweight division, where he was so close on getting a title shot. However, things turned for the worst, where he would next lose 3 fights in a row. At the beginning of the year, he faced Jorge Masvidal at UFC on Fox 23, where he was TKO'd in the second round. He next faced Robbie Lawler at UFC 214, where after the 3 rounds, he would lose the fight by unanimous decision, and lastly faced Darren Till at UFC Final 118, where he would get finished by TKO in the first round. With 3 straight losses in a row, Donald Cerrone has mentioned that he will start fresh and move back to the lightweight division in 2018. Hopefully, he is able to start a successful run next year. Number 2. Jose Aldo came into 2017 as the UFC Featherweight Champion after Conor McGregor was stripped of his title. It looked like the Featherweight King was back on his throne, but it didn't last long. He was scheduled to face interim champion Max Holloway in a title unification bout at UFC 212. In the fight, Max Holloway was able to get the third round TKO finish, becoming the undisputed UFC Featherweight Champion. After Frankie Edgar pulled out of his fight against Max Holloway at UFC 218, Jose Aldo stepped in as a replacement and faced Max Holloway for the title, where he was finished again by TKO in the third round. With 2 title losses in a row, Jose Aldo has moved far away from title contention. Hopefully, he moves up to the lightweight division and starts fresh in 2018. Number 1. Michael Bisping came into 2017 as the reigning UFC middleweight champion, where he was next scheduled to face former UFC welterweight champion George St. Pierre at UFC 217. In the fight, George St. Pierre was able to get a third round rear naked choke finish, becoming the new UFC middleweight champion of the world. After Anderson Silva was pulled from his fight with Kelvin Gastelum due to a doping violation, Michael Bisping stepped in on 2 weeks' notice and faced Kelvin Gastelum in the main event at UFC Final 122, where he was knocked out in the first round. With 2 devastating losses in a row, Michael Bisping has made it clear that his next fight will be his last. Hopefully he can walk away from the sport with a victory.